But speaking of more games, let's move into some of the stuff we played. Most of this we played at Gen Con 2016, which is pretty much the theme of this episode, is kind of going over our Gen Con adventures and such.
Right.
First game we got to demo is Mystic Vale.
Yes, sir. It's designed by John D. Clair. The artists are, prepare yourself, Storm Cook, Andrew Gaia, Katherine Guevara, Heather Kreiter, Kiri Østergaard Leonard, Matt Paquette, Kiki Moch Rizky, and Martin Day Diego Sádaba. It's released by AEG.
If we were doing Olympic scale or scoring scale, I feel like the difficulty of that was like a lower, maybe a 3 out of 4. I don't know what they scored out of.
Really?
Some of them were hard.
Yeah.
Some of them
they
were
weren't
easy.
Probably as hard as in the past, but
yeah.
It was a soccer team, I had to say, though. But
there was a lot of people on that. But Mystic Vale, if you haven't heard, which actually I guess it really didn't even come out at Gen Con.
No.
Was it more of an Origins release?
It might have been pre that. It might have just came out. Oh, no. You know what? It did come out Origins because Dice Tower was talking about it at their show, I believe.
But, I mean, it's a recent release, and essentially it's a deck builder where your deck size never changes. You got the same amount of cards, but they're those see-through cards with printing on top of it. Most of the card is just see-through, but it has a portion of it that has a picture and like an ability and stuff like that.
Right.
Or really just symbols. And what happens is they come in sleeves, and as you buy new cards, you get to sleeve them behind it. Obviously, you get to see through it. So there's 3 slots you can modify your cards with. So essentially, you could end up with 3 cards in one sleeve that fill up the 3 sections of that card, giving you abilities. And when it comes out, everything on that card applies.
Right.
Now, the game pretty much, it's like a deck builder, but it plays more like Flip City. Did you ever play that?
I never played that. I know you referenced that several times while we were doing it, but
yeah. So like the top card of your deck is always revealed, and it has like a little tree, and it has like a corruption tree, and then basically you press your luck. I'm going to add that to my tableau. Bam. But the one on top of your deck counts too, right? Or only for the corruption?
Only for the spoil or whatever it's called.
The little red tree or whatever.
Right.
And you keep going, and you can flip out as many cards as you want, but if at any point you have like 3, whatever. If you have like 3, you immediately bust, and all your cards go into.
Sorry, you're okay with 3. You get to 4, you're right.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. So you're okay with 3, but once the 4th one shows up, if it is also part of the top of the card on top of your deck, you don't get the abilities and everything. It's just the corruption whatever it's called. I keep calling it corruption. Somebody's going to correct me.
I don't recall what they called it. It was spoil or something.
It's like a red tree.
Yeah.
Anyway, once you do that, if you push too hard, then you lose your turn. Essentially, you flip everything over to the discard pile and keep going. Otherwise, you get mana and you buy things from. There's like 3-tiered decks, and they have so many cards Ascension style next to it. So when you buy one, it gets replaced, and then it's like cheaper, more expensive, and the most expensive.
Right.
And you're buying those cards to do even more things. And you add them to your current cards, and then there's some that give you symbols, and those symbols you can buy those. What are the cards off to the side that can only be bought with certain specific symbols?
Wild symbols, I think they might have been called, or.
Well, there's like trees and things like that.
Like one was a bear claw, one was a river-looking thing. All of them different. That's what you're talking about.
Right. They're different resources, but those cards off to the side can only be purchased with those.
Yes.
And they have a specific requirement, like maybe 2 of one resource and 1 of another.
Right.
Stuff like that, instead of just being bought with a specific amount of mana.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's all you do. And you just keep playing. There's a big pool of victory points, and eventually, once all those victory points have been claimed, certain cards will give you victory points once you play them, allow you to take from that pile of victory points. And at the end of the game, I'm pretty sure, cards are worth victory points as well.
Yes, you count up the points on the cards.
Yeah. So what did you think of this?
Oh, it was getting a lot of hype. I get skeptic on things like that, but once we sat down and played it, it sounds difficult at first, but it's actually simple. I mean, I guess with the whole like spoiling thing, it takes a little bit to grasp. But I had a lot of fun with it. The push your luck, it kind of blackjack. You get to that point where it's Do I want to try and push it? You know, like, man, I'm like 1 mana short on this. Do I want to try and push it? I'm already at the 3. You know, how have I been crafting my stuff? How many more extra spoil symbols do I got possibly to come? One thing I was trying to reminisce about all this, and I was watching a review on it. Did they show us the token that gave you the free mana?
No.
I didn't remember this either. There's evidently a token that if you are by chance 1 short, you can spend it. And it flips over and you're good until you actually do spoil out. Then you can flip it back and you've got another mana to use like kind of when you want.
I wonder if that's part of the game or if that's just a variant that you can add.
From what I saw, it was a cardboard token piece. Yeah, I don't know if maybe they just weren't showing that or maybe it's a variant or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's something I saw in the review that I was watching to kind of remember everything about it.
Yeah. We only played this one time, and it was essentially a glorified demo.
Right.
I mean, we were playing the game, but we only played, I think, half or a third of the experience that you're supposed to put in the pool.
Yeah.
Something like that. And overall, I think that the best way to describe this game is really Flip City / Dominion. But, I mean, it's a deck builder with the Flip City pressure luck mechanic, as I already said. And it's cool. The biggest thing I like about it is the fact that your deck size never changes.
Yes.
Because you don't have to worry about overloading your deck with cards, and then it falls with
min-max problem.
Yeah, it falls with or into the trap where a lot of deck builders get into, where you want to thin your deck as much as possible and then get only those cards, you know, only the best cards at one time.
Right.
Which, I mean, you still want the best cards at one time in this game, but you can achieve that easier. It's more about power combos all the time rather than trying to thin your deck to get that power combo.
Right. And it's also up to you if you want to build your deck to have like maybe just a few Mac Daddy cards that's got like all 3 spots filled up.
Yeah.
And a bunch of blank ones, or if you want to kind of spread it out and have a constant, more steady flow of mana coming out. And you know, one thing I was worried about the having, you know, 3 cards in one sleeve, like if you could tell if it was coming up, and evidently because you're just dealing with the top card, that's not an issue.
You know, I guess if you get really competitive about it and you start playing with people who actually take that into account, yeah, you could probably get people who are being a little cheesy sometimes.
I mean, if you really want to, yes.
Yeah, I think they would pretty much have to be scanning the sides of their deck and things like that. Because, you know, I don't know if were you doing this? I was holding the deck in my hand.
Yeah, because it was easier to flip.
Right.
You could run your thumb down the side of it and probably feel for what's coming.
So, I don't know. I guess if you're getting all elitist over the competitive ruling in tournaments.
If you're not playing tournament play and you're just playing with friends and they're doing that, it's kind of cheeseball anyways.
Yeah.
But
I don't really see that happening, but I'm just saying, you know, I'd be concerned about it.
Yeah.
The other thing I'm concerned about is the replayability of this. Like, it is a fast game. The turns are quick. Even if you bust, it's not that big of a deal, but then we're already playing it 2 players.
Right.
So, I mean, I think it's a 4-player game, right?
It can be, yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, that might be a little annoying if you bust your whole turn and, you know, you're behind.
Right.
Hopefully they bust as well and it's kind of even. But the bigger thing is the expansions. You know, like I feel like this game might need expansions in the future to sustain it.
Right.
Because otherwise you can see quite a bit of the game. I mean, not quite a bit, but I mean, you see like what's going to be different. The cards have different combinations of the powers. It's not like you're going to run into stuff that's like, oh, I've never seen this ability in the 30 times I've played it.
Right.
You know, or 30 plays is pretty good, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, and you know, we didn't get to see all the cards. Who knows? Maybe there's triple copies of half the stuff we saw. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know that every card's unique in those piles or what's going on. So we didn't get to see, I guess, the full game to really see what's going on. I think the Vale cards, there was only a few of them, but there were doubles of all of them.
Is that your hand?
No, the Vale cards, the special ones that took the...
the special resources?
Yeah.
Gotcha. You know, a lot of people are going off on how unique this is, and I guess it is kind of unique, although I do want to point out Hecatomb.
Right.
I mean, the concept has been used. I think it's even been used in Rizky or whatever that... Is that the game? Little card game that's kind of... I don't know. It's been used in a few games now. So not in this manner. And it's really cool in this manner. One, it comes with sleeves, which I thought was cool.
Right.
Because we sleeve everything anyway. A lot of people might be annoyed by that, but I do want to say the takedown is a chore.
Yeah.
Because once you finish that game, you're like, yay, we win. Okay, take all your cards
take everything out,
of that
put them in the
sleeve.
right spots.
Yeah, you got to put them in the right decks, in the right... Yeah, so... I don't know. I guess that's kind of minor. But if you're playing 4 players, I mean, you got 4 people doing it.
Right.
So you're just breaking down your hand of cards, which isn't a whole lot. But anyway, final thoughts?
Interesting.
Yeah. I think I might pick this up.